Kuso is something I completely missed last year, and it seems like so did a lot of other people. I say, don't do that, especially if you like fairly difficult platformers that require a lot of skill to complete. My first time through, I had 366 deaths. It was nuts. Kuso doesn't hide anything. There are no secrets. It's a very straightforward, difficult platformer. It's going to take a lot of well-timed and perfect jumps to complete. One mechanic it does have is the ability to set your respawn point wherever you want, which means only you're to blame when you have to redo an entire section when you forget to move it. Also, you need to be careful when placing it because it can't be placed anywhere dangerous. If the respawn point is destroyed and then you die, you'll be forced to start all the way at the beginning of the level, which is less than ideal. I have so much shame because of how many times I've done this. That's pretty much it though. Now beat the game's 25 levels. One thing to note is that you cannot save your progress halfway through, so it's all or nothing. Complete the entire game in one sitting. It's not as bad as it sounds. At most, it will take around an hour. Where Kuso expands are the different modes it has. Unlimited is the mode you'll probably start on to get a handle on how the game plays. You're given an unlimited amount of lives to learn everything. Arcade is probably the mode you're supposed to play on, and the game gives you 125 lives to finish. It's a lot easier said than done. My first time through Arcade, I made it 80% through, and it's entirely possible, which means they nailed the difficulty. The game is difficult without being impossible. This isn't getting over it levels of frustration. Kuso is a nice, gentle anger from knowing that life you just lost was really dumb and good luck finishing now. You're bad at this. You know what I mean? Anyway, so about those other modes, there's a hard mode that only gives you 10 lives. I'm not going to be finishing that. Whew. Also a speedrun mode which tracks how many frames you've seen. I noticed there is an achievement for beating the game in less than 15 minutes. In my arcade run, it took me about a half hour to get 80%, so while 15 minutes may be possible, it must be extremely difficult. Have to catch all the cycles. Only 3.9% of all people who played the game have achieved it too. Kuso really deserves credit for the level design though. They're all really interesting and keep throwing new mechanics at you constantly. It's not all spikes and flooring you can't touch. There are a lot of moving platforms, fire, guns, etc. Each level is completely different than the last, which keeps the game fresh through all 25 levels. On some levels, there are also multiple ways to get through. One example is either stay on the top area with timed platforms and fire, difficult but faster, or you can go to the bottom route and jump over spikes. Your call. There's lots of these throughout. You might not even catch them all the first time through. Kuso also gives you a lot of air control, which you can take shortcuts while falling and skip entire platforms. One thing Kuso does that it didn't have to is different music for each level. Of course, they could have used the same track for multiple levels, but they didn't, and I think that really helps. There are some really great tracks that help you get into the groove while playing. I'm serious, if anything, check out the soundtrack for this game. I put the link in the description. While you're trying to get through each of these stages super fast, you might not even want to leave because of the music. As I mentioned, it can take 40 minutes to complete the game, which leaves just an average of 1.5 minutes per level. All the tracks on the soundtrack are several minutes long, so they could have looped something much shorter. That means on my playthrough, I didn't even hear all the music. You can see how creating a different track for each level is insane and speaks to the quality of this game. Overall, Kuso is great if you want a challenge. At $5, it's worth it to me. It's meant to be played through multiple times, so I think there is enough game here for the price. It also has some really smart features with great level design and a fantastic soundtrack. I think this is a pickup for anyone who likes these kinds of games. Obviously, it's hard to keep track of all the games that are released on Steam, and this one was lost in the shuffle. Let me know if you pick it up and what you think of it. Thanks for watching.